in the quiet corridors of a grand, old sports arena that echoed with the cheers of thousands, there lived a man whose accomplishments shone brighter than any trophy in his collection. Alexander Alex Merrick had won 50 medals over the course of his illustrious career, each medal a testament to his unwavering dedication, relentless discipline, and the countless hours spent pushing himself beyond the limits of human endurance. His name became synonymous with excellence. His victories celebrated not only by fans and fellow athletes, but also by those who believed that greatness was forged through sacrifice and hard work. Yet behind every medal and every accolade, there lay a profound emptiness that no triumph could fill, a deep, aching void in his heart, a void that grew with every public celebration and every solitary night spent wrestling with the truth of his personal life. For Alex, life in the public eye was a glittering tapestry of success and honor. The world saw the medals, the records shattered on the track, and the gleaming smiles as he stood on podiums, and assumed that his life was as perfect as the polished surfaces of his awards. However, beneath the veneer of victory and acclaim, Alex grappled with the painful reality that his most prized conquest, the love and genuine affection of his wife, Veronica, remained forever out of reach. Veronica, a woman whose captivating beauty and refined charm had once enchanted him, had become distant, her once warm eyes now cold and indifferent. As the years passed and the medals multiplied, so did the gap between them, a gap carved by Alex's relentless pursuit of excellence and Veronica's growing disillusionment with a life where emotional intimacy was sacrificed on the altar of public achievement. Their union had once been a celebration of promise and passion. In the early days, Veronica's laughter had been the melody that brightened Alex's grueling training sessions, and her smiles had been the light that guided him through the darkest hours of defeat. Together, they had envisioned a future where triumph on the field would be matched by the warmth of a loving home. But as Alex's victories became more frequent, the demands of his athletic career grew ever heavier. His days were consumed by rigorous training sessions, national championships, and endless media appearances. The adoration of fans and the weight of responsibility slowly eroded the tender moments that had once defined their relationship. In the sanctum of their lavish home, once a haven of shared dreams and whispered promises, the space between them widened into an emotional chasm. Veronica began to seek solace elsewhere, finding in the arms of another a tenderness and attention that had faded from her marriage. At first, the signs were subtle. Missed phone calls, late nights with vague explanations, and furtive glances exchanged in moments of solitude. Alex, wrapped up in the intensity of his career, initially dismissed these as the natural consequences of a demanding life. But as the days turned to weeks, a growing suspicion took root, a silent, gnawing certainty that the love he had fought so hard to win on the track was slipping away in the quiet hours of the night. One cool autumn evening, as the golden light of the setting sun filtered through the stained glass windows of their opulent residence, Alex returned from a grand ceremonial event where he was once again honored with a new medal. The accolades of the day contrasted starkly with the desolation he felt upon entering his home. The halls, once echoing with laughter and warmth, now rang with a haunting silence. As he walked slowly through the corridors, the weight of unspoken words and unfulfilled promises pressed down on him. In the study, a room that had once witnessed long, intimate conversations, the sight of a small, innocuous envelope addressed in a handwriting unfamiliar, yet painfully resonant, sent his heart into a downward spiral. With trembling hands, he opened the letter and read the words that shattered the last vestige of hope. Veronica had found love in the arms of another, a love born of loneliness and the yearning for an emotional connection that Alex had failed to provide. The revelation was devastating. In that single, heart-wrenching moment, every medal, every burst of public applause lost its luster. Alex felt as though the very essence of his identity was slipping away. A man celebrated for his physical triumphs, now reduced to a figure of personal defeat. The medals that once symbolized his strength now stood as grim reminders of the price he had paid. A home filled with accolades, yet barren of genuine love. For weeks thereafter, Alex wandered through his days in a state of disbelief and numb sorrow. Public appearances, once a source of pride, became performances of obligatory smiles that masked the agony within. Each night, he would sit in solitude, gazing at his collection of medals with a mixture of pride and profound loss, wondering how a man could conquer so many external challenges yet be defeated by the complexities of the heart. In the midst of this personal desolation, Alex embarked on an inward journey, a quest not for more trophies, but for understanding, healing, and perhaps redemption. He began to take long walks through the quiet parks of the city, where the rustling leaves and the gentle murmur of nature offered a fragile solace. These solitary walks became meditative journeys, filled with reflective pauses and painful recollections of a love that once promised eternity. With each step along winding paths and beneath the shadow of ancient trees, he attempted to reconcile the dichotomy of his public triumphs and private despair. The journey forced him to confront not only the betrayal of a once-beloved partner, but also his own part in the unraveling of their shared dreams. Slowly, the pain began to transform into a powerful catalyst for change. Alex realized that the relentless pursuit of perfection on the field had blinded him to the beauty of vulnerability and the importance of emotional connection. In his quest for healing, he reached out to those who had suffered similar losses. He sought the counsel of trusted friends, attended support groups where he could share his story, and even found solace in the written words of others who had once believed that success was measured solely by medals and victories. Through these interactions, Alex discovered that true strength was not about winning every race or breaking every record. It was about embracing the entirety of one's humanity, with all its triumphs and heartbreaks. As the seasons changed, so did Alex's perspective on life. He began to see that his journey was not defined solely by the trophies that adorned his mantle, but by the lessons learned through the crucible of personal loss. He turned his focus toward mentoring young athletes, sharing not just the techniques and strategies of a sport, but also the importance of balance, of nurturing the heart alongside the body. His words resonated deeply with the next generation, who listened intently to the man who had known both the heights of glory and the depths of despair. Through these mentoring sessions, Alex rediscovered a passion for life that had long been obscured by bitterness and regret. Veronica's betrayal, while a source of enduring pain, eventually forced her to confront the truth about herself and her choices. In the silence of her own existence, far from the public eye, she wrestled with the consequences of her actions. The thrill of the forbidden had given way to an overwhelming loneliness, a loneliness that stripped away the illusions of glamour and left her face to face with the raw, unvarnished reality of her desires. Sitting by rain-streaked windows in her once familiar home, Veronica began to question the choices that had led her down a path of self-destruction. Each tear shed was a step toward understanding, each painful memory a lesson in the art of forgiveness, not just of Alex, but of herself. In the months and years that followed, the lives of both Alex and Veronica took on new shapes. Alex, determined to rebuild the shattered fragments of his inner world, immersed himself in community projects and charity events. He established a foundation dedicated to supporting athletes who faced the dual challenges of public success and private turmoil. His lectures, imbued with raw authenticity, became a beacon of hope for those who had felt isolated by their own struggles. The foundation not only provided practical assistance, but also offered a safe space for sharing stories, a space where vulnerability was celebrated as a source of strength. Through these endeavors, Alex discovered that the journey toward healing was a shared human experience, one that transcended the boundaries of individual achievement. Veronica, on the other hand, gradually embarked on a solitary journey of self-discovery and atonement. She sought solace in creative expression, pouring her sorrow and remorse into writing, painting, and music. Her art became a window into the turbulent landscape of her emotions, resonating with others who had felt the sting of betrayal and the burden of regret. Slowly, she began to reconnect with the parts of herself that had long been dormant. The dreams, the passions, the inherent capacity to love without reservation. In time, her creative expressions garnered quiet acclaim, and her once muted voice found its way into the hearts of those who had also been touched by life's harsh lessons. As years slipped by, the painful memories of a love that had once promised everything and delivered so little began to fade into a poignant background, a bittersweet reminder of a past that had, in its own cruel way, paved the path to personal evolution. Alex's medals, once gleaming symbols of unattainable perfection, transformed into emblems of resilience and the bittersweet beauty of a life fully lived. Each medal now told a story not of unbroken triumph, but of a journey marked by the courage to face one's deepest wounds and to find meaning in the face of despair. In quiet moments of introspection, Alex would recall the days when the cheers of the crowd felt like the heartbeat of the world, only to realize that the true pulse of life lay in the silent, steady rhythm of personal connection. He began to understand that the ultimate victory was not found in the accolades displayed in glass cases, but in the quiet moments of compassion shared with those in need. His interactions with young athletes, his heartfelt conversations with community members, and even the simple acts of kindness that punctuated his daily life became a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. In a twist of fate that neither Alex nor Veronica had anticipated, their separate journeys of healing eventually led them to cross paths again at a public event dedicated to celebrating the triumph of the human heart over adversity. Standing amidst a sea of hopeful faces and inspirational stories, the two former lovers locked eyes for a brief, poignant moment, a silent acknowledgement of the shared past that had forever altered the course of their lives. In that fleeting glance, there was a deep understanding that while the love they once hoped to salvage had crumbled under the weight of unmet expectations, the lessons learned from their pain had ignited the sparks of transformation. As the event unfolded, Alex took to the stage to deliver a speech about resilience, forgiveness, and the true meaning of success. His words, measured and sincere, carried the weight of a man who had been stripped bare by life's harsh realities, yet had found the strength to rebuild. He spoke of the journey from triumph to heartbreak, of the scars that bore witness to battles fought both on the field and within the heart. The audience listened in rapt silence, many moved to tears by the raw honesty of his narrative. In that moment, Alex not only reclaimed his identity as a champion, but also as a mentor and a beacon of hope for all those who believe that life's most valuable victories were not measured in medals, but in the capacity to love, forgive, and rise again. Veronica, watching from the back of the room, felt a complex swirl of emotions, regret, sorrow, and a quiet pride in witnessing the man she had once loved become a symbol of strength and transformation. While she could no longer undo the choices of the past, she realized that her own journey of redemption was far from over. That day marked a turning point, a gentle nudge towards self-forgiveness and a commitment to channel her pain into art that could heal others. In the years that followed the event, Alex's foundation flourished, becoming a sanctuary for those navigating the choppy waters of public acclaim and personal loss. His workshops and mentoring sessions became a lifeline for many, a place where the scars of the past were transformed into badges of honor. Meanwhile, Veronica's creative pursuits led her to publish a collection of memoirs and poetry, a raw and honest account of her struggles with love, betrayal, and the quest for self-acceptance. Her work resonated with countless individuals who had felt marginalized by their own emotional wounds, and gradually, she began to forge a new identity, one not defined solely by her past mistakes, but by the resilience and beauty that emerged from them. The legacy of Alex's 50 medals and the shattered love that had once defined his personal life took on new meaning as both he and Veronica evolved into symbols of transformation and hope. Their intertwined stories became a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The idea that even in the wake of devastating loss, life held the promise of renewal, compassion, and unexpected victories. Their journey, marked by heartache and redemption, served as an enduring reminder that the most profound successes were not the ones celebrated in stadiums, but those found in the quiet moments of genuine connection and self-discovery. As the final chapters of their lives slowly unfolded, Alex and Veronica continued to inspire those around them. Their paths, though diverging in many ways, remained forever linked by the lessons they had learned through betrayal and loss. Alex's medals, once symbols of unyielding ambition, now shone with a softer light, a light that spoke of vulnerability, perseverance, and the beauty of imperfection. Veronica's creative expressions, imbued with the raw essence of her soul, touched the hearts of those who listened to her story, encouraging them to embrace their own journeys of healing and transformation. In the gentle twilight of their later years, as the world around them shifted with the passage of time, both Alex and Veronica found a quiet peace in the acceptance of their past. They learned that true love was not always about winning every battle or achieving every dream, but about the courage to face life's challenges, to forgive, and to keep moving forward despite the odds. Their once tumultuous relationship, marked by betrayal and unfulfilled promises, had evolved into a complex tapestry of memories, each thread woven with pain, passion, and ultimately, a profound resilience. In the reflective calm of a setting sun, as Alex stood on a quiet balcony overlooking a city that had once roared with adulation for his victories, he allowed himself a small, bittersweet smile. The medals that once seemed like the pinnacle of achievement were now relics of a time long past. A reminder that the most important victories were the ones that touched the heart. And somewhere, in the depths of those cherished memories, he could still hear the echoes of a love that, though lost, had paved the way for a journey of redemption and self-discovery. Thus, the story of a man with 50 medals, whose public triumphs could not fill the void of a broken heart, became a timeless narrative of loss, healing, and the transformative power of forgiveness, a narrative that whispered softly to all who dared to dream, to love, and to embrace the imperfect, often painful beauty of life.